Hi guys, Dr. Jordan Axe here, and really excited for this thyroid webinar. And a lot of you guys are having, you can see all the symptoms here. So if that's you, fatigue, depression, anxiety, diet and exercise, you're still gaining weight. A lot of people right now are struggling with that. And I'm going to go over exactly how I overcame that, and thousands of my patients have as well. So a little bit about what we're going to be going over tonight. Why your blood work is normal yet you don't feel well. This is so common right now, and a lot of doctors are not able to really nail this down. The next thing, how the gut and the immune system play a primary role in thyroid conditions. That's huge. A lot of thyroid problems aren't coming from the thyroid. They're coming from other areas of the body. That's why you're doing things and you're not getting well. We're going to go over that in detail. The top 5 thyroid natural solutions. We're also going to go exactly how I overcame thyroid, adrenal, stress, and gut issues. Before we get into the meat and potatoes there, I really want to go over a little bit who I am and kind of why am I doing this, because I think that's very important. I've worked with a lot of the Olympic sprinters over in Claremont, Florida. There's Justin Gatlin, the bottom left. I'm hoping the team does really good this year. I've worked with them on their nutrition, their athletic performance, really getting their bodies in peak performance. We've used some vibration therapy and a lot of technology, just to help optimize what they're doing over there. This is my brother, Dr. Axe. He owns one of the largest health websites in the nation. He's an Amazon best-selling author for Eat Dirt, and he's been on the Dr. Oz show about 3 times now. He had his own radio show, Transform Your Health. And he's just been a huge advocate for what I'm doing. And me and him have grown so much together, and I just kind of want to honor him. And that's a little bit of my background. So I've been doing this really in high school. He's starting to instill these principles, and I've just grown and learned, and been analyzing people ever since then. So here's an amazing testimonial. I just want to give you guys hope before we get started here, because I'm telling you guys, if you make the changes and you decide to listen and apply what I'm about to go over, your life is going to dramatically improve for the better. I mean, the things that I see is like, it's really breathtaking. And here's a perfect example. This was just last week, actually. A patient of mine, she said, about my presentation, she said, it's significantly impacted my health. It has been over 2 months since I have been under your alternative medical health care, and my health has been progressing nicely. For instance, I now have an abundance of energy. I can now wear all the sexy outfits I spent the last 10 years dreaming of fitting in. Interestingly, my husband is now a happier man as a result of my libido drive and my anxiety reduction. Also, my battle with my self-esteem and my weight issues has extinguished. I've lost over 20 pounds, and most impressively, my weight has plateaued at 119 pounds, which is my desired weight. Another highlight of my health transformation is my pain-free menstrual cycles, which was excruciating pain for at least 4 years. And he said, Dr. Axe, I want to thank you so much for transforming my life. I am now living a high-quality life and really got our health back. So, this is why I do what I do, and I do these workshops for free, because me, my mom, my whole family, these patients, it's changed their lives, and this gives me joy that I can give back and help you guys transform your health. So I'm really excited about this. Why are you guys here? What does your life look like if we make these changes I go over tonight? What's it look like if you don't? Paint that picture in your head, because if you do that, I'm telling you, you guys will get better. I have never ever had a patient that decided they were going to get better and they did not. If they follow my lead and believe they're going to get better, they do. Here's a guy tried to stop smoking a dozen times, couldn't do it. One day his daughter said, Dad, quit killing yourself. He's like, what are you talking about? She says, I want you to be there when I get married. The guy never picked up a cigarette since then. He wanted to be there for his daughter. My mom wanted to be there. She had cancer twice. She wanted to be there for her grandchildren. She went the medical route the first time. The second time, she did what me and my brother outlined, completely transformed her life. We're going to be going over all those things right now. Cancer-free today, the healthiest ever. She water skis with me and my dad. She had a big why. She didn't want to just lose weight and get her energy back. She wanted to be there for her grandchildren. Yeah, she lost weight. She got her energy back. She got her hair back. She stopped having anxiety, depression. All these things came back, but that wasn't her big why. Really important. And the last thing before we get into the details here is just this mentality of 3% and then 97%ers. MIT did a study, and they found that there's this 3% mentality. Those are people that say, they overcome crazy obstacles. They're paralyzed, and they still live a successful life, right? They're the people you say, go stay on your head in the corner, and they do it. They're people that say, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get healthy, to get better, to overcome this. The 97% of people, which we all know these people, they're the ones that have all these excuses. I don't have the money for it, or, I can't do that, and life's not fair, and they have a million reasons why they can't do something or why they're not going to get well. You know what? The 3%ers that overcome all obstacles have those same excuses in the back of their head. And I'm telling you guys this right now, because all of you guys are coming up with excuses right now. I'm just going to listen to this webinar. I don't know. I don't think it's going to help. I don't know if changing my diet's going to work. I've already tried that. Diet and supplements. I don't know. I've been to 10 other doctors. All these excuses, all these things are going to come to your guys' head. I'm telling you, that's normal. The difference is the 3% mentality, the people that get better, they decide it doesn't matter. I'm going to get better despite all obstacles. And they get better and they move past it. I want you guys to be the 3%ers. I want to get you guys well tonight. Okay? But again, those excuses are going to come into your head. So, be cognizant of that. So really, we have a massive epidemic here with thyroid problems. So we have to realize what a problem it is so we can solve this. So 27 million people suffer from thyroid conditions. Diabetes is only 16 million. It's the number one endocrine disorder out there. 90% of them are women, age 40 and up, and are symptomatic but undiagnosed. And 80% of thyroid conditions are in women and are autoimmune related. So 80% of you guys out there listening to this have an autoimmune version. That means your blood work can be normal and you can treat the thyroid, but you will never get better because it's the autoimmune system. It's in the gut, the immune system. 80% of your immune system's in the gut. That's where it's stemming from. If you don't treat that, you're not going to get better. I'm going to go over exactly how to do that here in a little bit. Okay? And it's the collateral damage. It's not just the thyroid. It's weight gain, obesity. You have 2 times more likelihood of blocked aorta or heart attack. National Thyroid Institute said 50% of depression could be caused by undiagnosed thyroid conditions. Studies also show autoimmune types of hypothyroid, which is the number one, that can lead to psychosis, seizures, dementia, and mood changes. Also, hormone problems. So the thyroid is causing anxiety, depression, heart attacks, mood disorders, psychosis, memory problems, mood changes, hormonal issues. It's a big deal. So a lot of you guys are wondering, is this my problem or not? Here are the main symptoms: weight gain, sleep, hot flashes, cold hands, depression, infertility, constipation. The thyroid is what regulates the speed of the body. The reason you have no energy, everything in the body is slowed down. That's why you're infertile. You can't have kids because everything is slowed down. Same thing with constipation. Your gut is slow. You're constipated. Cold intolerant, losing your hair. What's the solution, right? That's why you guys are here. I want to give you guys a solution. Well, really depends on who you ask. Because if you ask your doctor, they're going to tell you it's your genetics. There's not much you can do except take thyroid replacement hormone drugs for the rest of your life. Someone's making a lot of money, right, guys? The sad part is most people still have the symptoms and their doctor now said it's not related to the thyroid. Again, why is that? Because it's not the thyroid. It's coming from somewhere downstream, which we're going to go over that. Truth is, there is a cause. Each one of you, there's something causing this. If we can figure out what that is, you will 100% get better. Okay? And I have an amazing system for treating thyroid conditions, and it works because we get rid of the cause. You need to understand how the thyroid system works, okay, if you're going to get better. It's the hypothalamus that controls these processes in the body. And it's the anterior pituitary gland that releases thyroid stimulating hormone. Thyroid stimulating hormone tells the thyroid, hey, things are slow, let's speed it up here. The thyroid then secretes more thyroid hormones. It's a great feedback loop if all is working correctly. Now the thyroid then secretes T4 and T3. T4, which you can see here, is the inactive version of thyroid hormone. T3 is the active version. You need things like selenium to convert it. 80% happens in the liver, and up to 20% of this conversion happens in the gut. Can you see why addressing the liver, addressing the gut is so crucial in this process? And here in the very bottom, you can see T4 can actually get converted into RT3, which is reverse T3. That is caused from chronic elevated stress. Who here has chronic elevated stress? Almost all of us, right? We live in America. And this causes T4 to get converted into a reverse T3, which is unusable by the cells. Therefore, your blood work can be normal all day, and you still don't feel well because the hormones are not getting into the cell. Okay? This is a test I always do on people, the reverse T3. Why does your blood work look normal and you don't feel well? When's the last time your doctor checked you for reverse T3? That's why you're not getting better. This is one of the first things I check on people. So kind of like what we said, thyroid replacement hormones such as Synthroid are your only answer. Absolutely not. 80% of the time it does nothing to relieve your symptoms, let alone fix a condition. Because 80% of the time it's autoimmune related. We have to treat that, not the thyroid. And the crazy thing is, again, your blood work is fine, therefore you are fine. That's not true. Your blood work only shows a small portion of what's going on. And before 1971, it was the gold standard to treat people on their symptoms and not on their labs. And people were getting better. It was working better at that point. So, by the time your blood work shows you're positive, it had been going on 10 to 20 years by the time it shows up on your blood work. So that's a big reason why. It's really the most underdiagnosed endocrine disorder on the planet. So most doctors do not run the correct test to identify the autoimmune type, which is Hashimoto's. That's exactly what I had, which represents 80% to 90% of hypothyroid. So the gold standard, when you go in your medical doctor, they're just looking at your TSH. If it's off, they're going to give you something like Synthroid or hormone replacement. That's all they look at. They don't look at reverse T3. They don't look at the adrenals. They don't look at toxicity. They don't look at all the things that actually cause thyroid problems. They just look at the TSH. So that is their gold standard. Now their optimal range is between 0.5 and 5.5. Well, that's from an unhealthy population. The true range needs to be between 0.35 and 2.0. I see this all the time. I have a patient that comes in and says, my TSH is 2.5, and my doctor said your blood work is pristine, you're fine, there's nothing wrong with your thyroid. Absolutely not. 2.5, there's a problem there. Okay? So no published study has ever said that published studies say that TSH values greater than 2 can indicate health problems. So, the research, that's what the research is showing. And why does your doctor not check for these other things? It's not what they learned in medical school. They were trained to look at TSH and treat accordingly. I mean, they're not going to do a test. They're not going to look for antibodies because they can't treat you for that. They don't know how to. So why would they test for it? So, kind of in summary, what we went over. Again, a lot of times it's the autoimmune, and getting put on replacement hormones that doesn't work. The second thing is you can actually be thyroid hormone resistant. So you can have all the hormones in your body, but if you can't convert them, or you can't get the hormone into the cell, you can't use it. Same thing as type 2 diabetes. You have the glucose just can't get into the cell because you're hormone resistant. That's why a lot of my patients, thyroid patients, also have diabetes. All your cells are resistant. So your cells can't get the signal from the hormone. Therefore, like type 2 diabetes, you can have normal blood levels of the hormone, but the cell can't use it because the receptors are blunted. That's why your blood work's normal and you're not feeling well, guys. I thought this is pretty funny. I've researched my thyroid disease and know more about it than the 20 doctors I've been to. If I can find the info, why can't they? Isn't this why they went to med school? This information's out there, guys. It really is. Again, doctors are good people. They want to help you. Some are just not trained specifically to treat the thyroid and address the underlying condition. Okay? I found this the other day. I thought this blew my mind. Contraindications to taking a thyroid hormone replacement, which a lot of you guys are on, is untreated, subclinical. I'll just summarize. It's basically what this is saying. And it's a contraindication to give you Synthroid if your TSH levels, if your TSH levels are off, but you have normal T3 and T4 levels. That's a contraindication. Okay, all three of those things have to be off. The other thing is uncorrected adrenal insufficiency. Adrenals are the second major cause of thyroid issues. Remember I was talking about the reverse T3 caused from chronic stress? Your doctor is supposed to look at your adrenals to make sure they're not insufficient before they prescribe these medications, and no one is doing that. That's one thing that's the first thing I do with people is I check their adrenals first. A lot of times I fix that and they get better, Here's my blood work here. And, this was about 5-6 years ago. And, I was sick. I mean, for the 10 years before that, chronic sinus infections, impetigo, skin problems, acne, low energy, depressed, you name it. I was just sick all the time. I was sick of it. And eventually, took antibiotics, steroids, and I remember the doctor saying, that some of those things stopped working, so they're like, when that stops working, they want to send you to a specialist, right? And then the specialist wants to give you special drugs. And then eventually, the last thing they want to do is surgery, right? That's their model. Doctor, medications, more medications. That doesn't work, specialist. Once a specialist can't help, then they want to do surgery, right? And then that's the model I was in. I started getting really, really bad eczema, and they were giving me steroid creams. They couldn't figure it out. And, I was scared at this point, guys, and I was like, I got to figure this out. I ended up going to Progressive Medical Center. They did a lot of blood work. They tested all these things on me, and they found out I had Hashimoto's, but it was an autoimmune condition coming from the gut. And once I fixed that, we'll go over that in a second, but you can see my numbers here were 289. They're supposed to be 0. And my other antibody was 101. Started to make some changes we're going to be going over tonight. Doing the right testing, treating the toxicity, treating the gut. And, again, you guys have tried every diet. It's not just the diet. You guys know that part. Yes, it was the diet. But, you know, it was the altering of the medication, it was the supplement, it was the lifestyle, it was the correct testing. These are the things that made the difference for me. And this was 3 months later. Can you guys see the difference? We're at 85 and 11 versus 289 and 101. Massive difference. 9 months later, boom, normal limits. Hashimoto's completely gone. Guess what happened to the anxiety, all the eczema, the acne? Completely went away, all at the same time, because I got to the root of the condition. My body began to heal itself. Okay, this is something a lot of doctors are going to say that's impossible. You cannot do that. That's not what's going on. I'm telling you guys, here's proof. My name's on it. The dates are on it. Boom, completely gone. You know, if I can do it, you can do it. And, you know, it wasn't easy though. You know, if you guys aren't willing to make changes, then I don't even know why you're on this webinar, to be honest, right? It's not going to be an easy road, but I'm telling you, give yourself a couple months, you can make massive changes and start to feel better. It's 100% worth it. I spent $6,000 just on blood work, right? Again, I found a much easier, cheaper ways now to get people results. But again, if I had to do it all over, I'd do it again. I'd pay 3 times that much because it changed my life. It saved my life. It was worth it, right? So you have to know the value, your health. There's nothing more valuable than your health. You know, Steve Jobs, all that money in the world, best doctors in the world, they couldn't save his life. You know, we're talking about health. You can't put a number on it, right? So now I want to go over the main causes of thyroid dysfunction. The first one is autoimmune. Again, that has to do with Hashimoto's. That's an immune system imbalance. You have your cellular immunity and you have your humoral. So humoral is things like allergies. Your system's in autoimmune diseases. It's overactive. You have your cellular. That's what fights viruses and bacterial infections like sinus infection, herpes, parasites, those kind of things. So you need not just a stronger immune system, you need a balance. Second one is leaky gut. And I'm going to go over that in a second here. The third one, which is the third main cause of thyroid conditions, is toxicity. Toxins bind up thyroid receptors and block out hormone function. Okay? It's also the same reason why you can't lose weight. When you're full of toxins, those toxins bind to your fat cells and your body will not get rid of the fat cells. It will start burning muscle before it will burn fat. Okay? You got to remove the toxins to lose the weight, and so your cells can start binding to those thyroid hormones. Fourth, adrenals. Adrenals is the second main cause of thyroid problems. Chronic stress causes reverse T3. It also causes a reduction in human growth hormone. Human growth hormone is what causes you to gain lean muscle and lose weight. So it's this chronic stress that's throwing everything off. The fifth thing is inflammation. Okay, inflammation can be caused not just because you didn't take enough fish oil, right? It's caused from chronic viral infections, bacterial infections, parasites, something underlying that you have not been tested for that's causing chronic inflammation. If we can figure it out, if we can do the right test and we can find that and remove that source, you're going to start to get better immediately. Okay? That's why I said it's not just about a diet, it's about figuring out what's causing this, and if I can help you remove that, you're going to get better. And when the body and the cells become inflamed, the hormone receptors burn out. Again, your blood work's normal, the hormones can't get there because the cell's inflamed. Okay, that's huge, guys. So I'm going to talk about leaky gut because that is the main cause of thyroid conditions. In your gut, you're supposed to have these tight junctions in your gut. Okay, you have 5 tennis courts of surface area in your gut. You want tight junctions in there. What happens is those junctions enlarge. Things like gluten, toxins, microorganisms, proteins get into the bloodstream, right? You can see they get into the bloodstream where they're not supposed to be. Your immune response, your IgG immune, thinks these things are foreign invaders, and your immune system starts to attack them. Gluten, for instance, should be a normal thing we can eat. When you have leaky gut, gluten gets into the bloodstream, the immune system thinks it's a bacterial infection, the immune system attacks it when it's not supposed to. The problem with gluten is it looks a lot like the thyroid. If you're going to write anything down, write this down. That's called molecular mimicry. Molecular mimicry means your immune system gets confused and it attacks the thyroid thinking that it's gluten. It looks like the same molecule. Now your immune system is attacking your thyroid or other systems of the body because of leaky gut. Okay? We got to fix these junctions here, close these off, keep the toxins out, keep the gluten and the other proteins that are supposed to stay in the digestive system out. That will reduce that's what's going to fix the autoimmune condition. It's going to reduce allergies, pain in the body that are all being caused by this IgG immune response. So that's leaky gut, which is increased intestinal permeability. Okay, number one cause here, guys, of thyroid conditions. This has to be addressed. You can do all the blood work, thyroid panels in the world. If you don't look for this, if you don't test it, you're not going to get well. One test I love to do on people is a met-oxy test. This actually tests for cellular inflammation. How much is this test worth? It's priceless if it gets you to the cause of what's causing the problem, okay? Inflammation is always involved in thyroid conditions. If the cell's inflamed, toxins can't get out, your thyroid hormone cannot get into the cell. I always start with this test. It's really priceless. So how does the autoimmune thyroid work? Again, thyroid cells are damaged by a trigger, such as iodine, fluoride. Fluoride's in our water. A viral infection, leaky gut. The dying thyroid cells send out a stress signal. The immune cells come in to save the thyroid from the attackers. The immune cells attack thyroid instead. More thyroid cells are damaged. The body runs out of resources to regenerate thyroid cells. The thyroid is no longer able to produce enough hormone. Okay, that's hypothyroid. If you're having hyperthyroid, the autoimmune is actually attacking the receptors on the thyroid and causing the thyroid to be hyperactive. Okay? And again, it's not just the thyroid. When you have an autoimmune condition affecting the thyroid, it can also affect a wide variety of other things. Depending on your genetics, someone might not have thyroid problems. Their immune system might attack their digestive system, causing Crohn or IBS. If you have diabetes, the immune system might be attacking the pancreas and killing the pancreas, so now you can't make enough insulin. They're actually calling Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes now. Okay? Brain fog, if you guys have ever heard of that. The immune system is actually attacking the brain cells in the blood-brain barrier, causing cognitive issues. Rheumatoid arthritis. The immune system is attacking the joint lining. Multiple sclerosis. Immune system is attacking the myelin in the nervous system. Okay, and autism, huge right now, growing so much. One of the factors is the gut and the immune system, because these inflammatory responses and autoimmune responses are attacking the blood-brain barrier. What's the solution? Well, for instance, kids that have dogs have a 2-time decrease in allergies and skin conditions like eczema. Reason being, the dogs bring in microbes, build the immune system. Okay? Your gut and your immune system is only as healthy as the bacteria that make it up. Okay? They're calling the gut now the second brain. The bacteria in your gut has huge implications, okay? It affects your mood, it affects the way you think, is literally your second brain. I mean, those bacteria in there literally cause you to have certain cravings for certain foods. If we can fix the gut, I'm telling you, all these changes are easy because it decreases the cravings, increases the mood. I mean, 80% of your serotonin is made in the gut. No wonder people are depressed and on SSIRs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. They don't have enough serotonin. That serotonin is made in the gut. Okay? Get around, play in the dirt, get a dog. These things build up the immune system. So, and again, this isn't just me saying that. This is in Time magazine. They had an article. And what they found is when inflammation becomes chronic, the body turns on itself. So basically what they're saying is when you inflame the body long enough, and again, that can be from viruses, bacteria, mold, whatever it may be. That's why you have to do the right testing to figure it out. When that inflammation is chronic, the body has an autoimmune response. The body turns on itself, and it starts to attack your thyroid or your pancreas or whatever it may be. What are the causes of inflammation? Sugars, bad fats, free radicals. Free radicals aren't just because you didn't eat enough antioxidants and blueberries. It's from a carb overload, guys. A lot of you guys are addicted to carbs. That causes free radical damage and inflames the entire system. Again, what happens when the system's inflamed? The body turns on itself. Autoimmune disease, thyroid problems, okay? And this is kind of the cell structure. So, draw a circle with a cell. You have your receptors coming off there that bind to T4. And receptors are made out of fat. Your cell membrane is made out of fat. Your T4, T3, these hormones, all hormones are made out of fat. Your cell structure is made out of fat. Your thyroid hormone is made out of fat. These are all made from cholesterol, which is a fat. Okay, that's huge. And that, the number one change I would say is this whole low-fat craze right now. That's what's causing all these problems right now. You need fat for hormones. You need fat for healthy cell function to reduce inflammation. A lot of you guys have been told cholesterol causes heart disease. Absolutely not. There's hundreds of studies showing this is not true. Inflammation causes heart disease, guys. Cholesterol is necessary for creating hormones, proper neurological function, repairing and protecting cells. It's your healing molecule. They're actually showing people with higher cholesterol actually live longer. Those are the studies that are coming out now. Here's how hormones are made. Think about how many people have decreased testosterone or decreased estrogen, all these hormonal issues. Guess where it all starts? Cholesterol, which is fat. The number one thing, if I said change one thing in your diet right now, is increasing the fat intake. People are like, I eat a lot of fat. No, you don't. It's almost impossible to eat too much fat. Fat, fat, fat. That's what's going to create better hormones, reduce inflammation. Okay? Obviously, there's a lot more to it, but that's one of the number one changes to start making. Here's a real 300%. Fed up with how her diet is going, Charlene takes a more serious aim at her target weight. I'm sure a lot of you guys feel that way right now. And the reason is you've been lied to, really. Making all these changes, low-fat diets have been making things worse. I'm going to show you exactly why that is. Lie, fat makes you fat. Truth is, the inability to burn fat is what makes you fat. Weight loss is about one simple thing, and it's about hormones. 100%. People always go back to calories. How come one person can eat 5 times more than the other person and they don't gain weight and you do? It's not about calories. It's about hormones such as insulin, leptin, and others they control. What are hormones made out of? Fats. Okay? Adipose tissue releases something called leptin. Leptin tells your hypothalamus to decrease food intake, increase energy expenditure, which decreases body weight. Okay? That's a good thing, right? The fatter you get, the more your body wants to make you lose weight. The problem is leptin receptors are burnt out at the hypothalamus. Basically what that's saying is your brain is not hearing these messages. When you're overweight, the brain does not get the signal. Why does your brain not get the signal? For this reason. You're not a fat burner. If your body's in fat burning mode, your body listens to hormones. If your body's in sugar burning mode, it listens to sugar instead of hormones such as leptin, okay? When you're a sugar burner, again, you're eating a lot of sugar, carbs. The brain does not hear leptin and relies on sugar for energy. When you're a fat burner, your brain does hear leptin and responds by burning fat for energy. All right, just like a hybrid car, it's either going to run on gas or it's going to run on electric. All right, you're either going to burn sugar or you're going to burn fat. If you're always burning sugar and glucose, and now let's say you're hungry and you haven't eaten for a while, what is your body going to try to turn to? It needs sugar, it needs glucose. It's going to give you uncontrollable cravings, or it's going to burn your own muscle because it's not in fat burning mode. It's not burning gas, it's burning electric. Say like in a car, it's not going to turn to that. So the body will never switch over. But now if we can shock your body and transform your body, again, this takes a couple weeks, can take up to a month. I have specific protocols and shortcuts I've learned to get people into fat burning mode, okay? I want to get a person into that mode as quickly as I can. Once you're in fat burning mode, your body, there's always fat. So again, the cravings go away because when your body's hungry, it starts to break down and pull fat from the belly in different areas. And then you don't have cravings. And it also stabilizes other hormones such as insulin and your blood sugar levels. Why do you think their mood is all over the place? It's because their blood sugar is all over the place. They're tired, they're excited, they're depressed, they're happy. Think about kids, they're all eating sugary Pop-Tarts, they have ADHD. Yeah, because their levels are up and down just as well. If we can start to balance your sugar levels by getting you into fat burning mode, all your other hormones will follow suit. Insulin and glucose is your master hormone. When I say master, I mean if we can balance that, the other hormones will follow in a cascade effect. It's one of the first things I work on with people. Hours till you're hungry. Fat, 4 hours. Carbs, 1 hour. That's why you're hungry all the time. Too many carbs. Protein, 2 to 3 hours. So here's an example of some good fats. These are things I started to add as many as I could. Olive oil, avocados, coconut products, and raw nuts and seeds, real butter, raw cheese, yogurt, grass-fed meats, eggs, fatty fishes. Bad fats, okay? We want to add good fats, not the bad fats. Studies show that rancid fats, such as vegetable oil, decrease thyroid function by causing inflammation. The Volek study, along with many others, show that the only diet to improve, show that diets high in saturated fats and low in carbs improve weight loss by improving thyroid function. The reason you can't lose weight is not only because of your hormones, because your thyroid function, which is also a hormone. Multiple studies show that the only diet to have a significant improvement to cold tolerance was a diet high in saturated fat. This is the gist of what I did. Again, it's so much more than diet. That's just a small portion I work on people with. But in general, increase your good fats, remove the bad fats, start adding naturally raised, organic, animal proteins, carbohydrates, only whole carbohydrates, such as low sugar fruits and vegetables. That's the gist of what you're going to be doing. Again, it's more complicated than that, but in general, that's what we're doing. As many fats as we can, moderate amount of protein, low amount of carbs. Our carbs should be coming from vegetables. Grains and sugars are just wrecking and causing major thyroid issues. Elevated glucose and insulin which I just talked about, stimulated by the consumption of grains and sugars, interferes with the liver's ability to convert T4 to T3. High carb diets exacerbate thyroiditis, and low carb diets improve it. Grains are the #1 food that people are intolerant to, which block hormone receptors and cause an autoimmune response. What do we keep talking about, guys? The reason you don't feel well and your blood work is either off or it's normal is because the hormones are being blocked at the cells and you're having an autoimmune response. Removing the grains and sugars is huge. GMOs is driving inflammation. Here's a study they did with Roundup in genetically modified crops and fed them to these mice. The one on the left is just GMO, the one in the middle is GMO and Roundup. Every single time these rats got massive tumors. No wonder people are having all these issues. I'm surprised more people don't, considering what we're eating today. There's a study 1 year later and 10 years later. It's not sustainable. So one of the last things I want to talk about is the toxicity. It's the third major cause of thyroid problems. Again, if you guys want to get better, we got to figure out the cause. That's how you're going to get better the quickest. Top 5. PCBs and dioxins, which are found in fish, meat, and dairy. If you guys are going to spend the money, you got to spend on high quality meats because of this reasons. Pesticides. They're in commercial foods. They're used in the home. Soaps, detergents, they're in everything. Heavy metals. Silver fillings. Environmental. A lot of people have silver fillings. Again, they make all the changes to the diet. They do all the testing. They can't figure anything out. When's the last time your doctor checked you for mercury? Or heavy metal? Or leaky gut? That's why you guys aren't getting better. We have to figure and test these things out. Okay? BPA, those are in plastics, cosmetic, dental sealants, the lining of metal cans. The last thing is halogens, aka also known as goitrogens. Fluoride, chlorine, bromine. These things are found in our water. They're found in bread and flame retardants. Those things are going to block out iodine. Your thyroid hormone, T3, is 3 molecules of iodine. Fluoride, chloride, and bromine will all block out iodine and messing up this conversion process. Again, that's not going to show up on blood work if we don't test the right things. Studies show that these toxins induce thyroid hormone metabolism by altering an enzyme in the liver that metabolizes the hormone. Again, it can't be converted in the liver because of these toxins. Pesticides, I thought this was crazy. Women married to men who use pesticides have almost a 2-fold increase in thyroid disease. That's huge. And here's a video of the mercury. Again, the reason you're not getting well is because no one's testing you for these things. You guys know how to do the diets. You've done 100 different diets. So here's it's called smoking tooth, and it's showing they pulled a mercury filling, and you're going to see
it's the same temperature as the human body.
You're going to see the smoke.
This is a filling that was rubbed with a pencil eraser for just a few seconds, like going to the hygienist and having her clean your teeth.
That's a
These
tooth
are
there.
not small amounts of mercury. If you can see it, it's more than 1,000 times higher than the Environmental Protection Agency will allow for the air that we breathe.
So that's huge, guys. That's why you're not getting better. We need to, again, that's not everyone, that's a small amount of people, but these are things I test for to figure out, that's how you're going to get better. That was mercury vapor coming off these mercury fillings. So this is called your toxic bucket. You have a liver so you can take toxins out. The problem is, over the years, toxins build up in the body. Guess what happens when they overflow? You ever heard people, he was fine, they were fine, then boom, all of a sudden he went downhill quickly, or I really started to have all these symptoms. That can be from toxins spilling out of the body. One thing I'll say about, everyone's looking for a detox. There is a 100% a right way and a wrong way to detox. A true detox takes time. Okay, there's a right and wrong way to do it, but when you do it right, oh my gosh, the results are amazing. And if you detox but you don't remove things like the mercury fillings or a viral infection in the body, you're gonna fight it your whole life. Here's a toxicity test I'd love to do just to kind of rule it in or out. And it's a visual contrast sensitivity test, and it can actually kind of rule that in or out very quickly. It's something I like to do in the clinic. Again, how much is this test worth? Well, again, for me, it was priceless because, it was able to rule in or out, if this was the cause or not. Again, the whole point of testing is to figure out what's causing it so we can remove it. Solutions, okay? I kind of went through that. We heal the gut. We got to remove the toxins. We got to remove stresses from our life. We have to rebuild the adrenal glands. That's our stress organ. Support the thyroid. Again, you guys might have had a lot of these things and now you're having thyroid problems. We have to remove the cause or you will never get better. We then need to rebuild the thyroid so it can function properly. You can get your hair back, your energy back, get your life back. Okay? We need to balance the immune system so your body does not attack vital organs. And the last thing is to avoid food intolerances. That's something I normally test. So, one thing I didn't hit on here quickly, adrenal fatigue. Here are the 5 things that cause the adrenals to become fatigued. Stress, lack of sleep, consumption, sugar and refined carbs, overuse of caffeine, alcohol, drugs, and nicotine, vitamin B and C deficiencies. These are the things you need to start working on. And on the right, the best way to rebuild the adrenals is from adaptogenic herbs. They help you adapt to stressful situations. Adding as many of those herbs back into your life, supplements, foods, is going to help those adrenals in your body adapt to stress. Stress is inevitable. We need to give your body things so it can cope with them. I watched this video the other day on this commercial, and I just thought it was so applicable to what we're talking about today.
David, you have one of the worst cavities I have ever seen. Okay. Have a good day.
Aren't you gonna fix it?
Well, I'm not a dentist. I'm a dental monitor. I just tell you when you have a bad cavity.
It's bad. Lunch?
Oh, yes.
Where are you going?
Why monitor a problem if you don't fix it? That's why free credit monitoring isn't enough to protect you from identity.
How funny is that, guys? I mean, that's how I felt when I was going through all this. It's like, man, I spent all this money. People were diagnosing me with this and that. And that was it. There was never a real solution to the problem, right? I've kind of told you guys what causes thyroid problems. I do not want to leave you in the dentist chair thinking, okay, I know what my problem is, but we need help, right? So I feel like this is a big issue. So kind of recapping, like I said, here's the causes of thyroid dysfunction. These top 2, autoimmune coming from the gut. That's number 1. Adrenals is the second. Third is toxicity. The fourth is chronic inflammation and hormone burnout at the receptor. Those are your top 4 causes of thyroid conditions. If we can figure out which one of those it is through the proper testing, you will 100% get well. Here's some other testing you may need. Always check selenium, check the thyroid antibodies to figure out if it's autoimmune, reverse T3, again that's adrenals, heavy metals to check. Again, if there's a toxicity issue and we just try to work on these other things, you're not going to get better. Proper testing is so crucial. Kind of what I want to end with, guys. Again, it's just this 3% mentality. I want you guys to get better. I really do. And you're gonna have a lot of excuses. I don't have the time for that. I'm working too much. I don't have the money to buy organic food. I don't know. Just so many excuses, guys. If you want it, whether you get better or not, it's a choice. It has nothing to do with all these excuses we come up with. It has to do with a choice. Do you want to get better or not? If you don't want to get better and you're not willing to make changes, again, I don't know why you're even on this webinar right now. It's time to make a change and get better. Again, everyone has excuses in their head. If you want to be a 3%er and get better, make a decision. You'll do whatever it takes to get better. Okay? And again, I do not want to leave you guys in the dentist chair, all these things wrong with you, and you don't know where to go. The best example someone gave me is, it's really hard to treat yourself. So I want you guys to do something. Put your finger on your nose right now. And now if I ask you things about your finger hurts. Well, what's wrong with it? Well, how many creases do you have on it? If I ask you all these questions, you really wouldn't know. But now bring your finger out, a foot or two. And now I ask you the same questions about your finger. It's obvious what's wrong with your finger. Your health, guys, is the same way. When it's you, it's very difficult to diagnose and figure out and treat yourself. You need someone that's trained in this to take an outside look and help guide you in the right direction. So what I actually have decided to do, again, my mom right here, she's such a huge role model in my life, and she just gives back and does so much service work, gives back to the church, and I really admire her for that. And I was like, I want to give back. I want to be able to give back some of my time, maybe once a month, like community service, and really help. Instead of me going out and picking trash for community service, why don't I use my gift and what I've learned to help other people overcome their thyroid issues? So what I've actually decided to do, really to help give back, is I want to give free consultations to people that have watched this webinar. Just 10 or 15 minutes, tell me what's going on. And again, I can be that outside, outside doctor, and I can take a look, and I can help enlighten a lot of things that are going on in your body and really help move you in the right direction. Again, I'm going to do that for free, guys, because I know what it's like to go through these issues, and that's my purpose in life, is to help other people get healthy. And really excited for you guys. If you guys want to get on the phone with me for a free consultation, I'm setting up 1 day a month, 1 to 2 days a month, and I'm just going to call people and really try to help you guys out. So to do that, either go to calendly.com/Dr. Axe, and there'll be times on there you can register, and I will give you a call at that time. Or you can email us at therootcauseclinic@gmail.com. Put your information down, put your phone number down, and I will have me or one of my assistants give you a call, and we will set up a time to get on the phone, and so I can help you guys out. And I'm there for you guys. Anything you guys need, I'm giving you guys some resources to get started. And again, thank you so much for hopping on this webinar. I hope it changes your life. Again, I know if you apply these things, it absolutely will. And God bless.